we'll do that. Let me say good morning to everyone from all of us, and hope you're having a great holiday and had a wonderful Christmas. And we're going to have a great New Year here. Denis and Dan and I have been conversing this morning over a couple of topics and subjects. So let me bring you up to speed and let you know that Joe also will not be with us today. So we'll be covering some important things for you. So with that, I was, you know what, Dan and Denis, I'm going to put this question out there without any ability of anybody to come forward and answer the question. But I think this is extremely important. We've been going over this morning, and so I want to put this out there, and and ask you to do something on a piece of paper. You will not have to hit the button and come in and say what you wrote down or anything, but for your own benefit, I think this is a good exercise. I think this is a good thing to do so that you have a sense of how you view the company. So here's the question, and let me set the stage. Let's assume for a minute you were talking to someone over the holiday. You sat and somebody said, "What did you do?" Which, by the way, happened to me yesterday. One of my nieces. And so the question comes up, well, what is it that you do? What does your company do? Well, tell me about that KB thing. Now, you can avoid the question and say no problem, and, we can talk about it later, and, let's just talk about holiday stuff. Or you could answer it legitimately with a 1, 2, 3 line explanation, which is probably what you should do, but then move away from it and not try to tell everybody what it is you know. But if someone asked you what KB is, what do you do, or what would you be doing, there's a simple answer to it. But the question I have to everybody is, what would you say right now, before we move on to this next segment here, what would you say if someone said, well, what is it that you do there at this KB company? Or what does KB do? Who are they? I mean, that's probably a real legitimate. But all those will mean the same thing, and it has one answer. So why don't you write that down? Try to explain on paper what it is that this company does and what you do with the company. So give yourself a second or two to write that down and put it in writing, just so you have it. Obviously, you don't have to read it to anybody. Just read it to yourself. See if you can answer it. And I think this is really important, Dan, when someone says, what does your company do? I think it's extremely important to be able to give a 1, 2, 3 line answer and then move on with your particular agenda.
Okay. With that, there is a simplified answer, but the challenges to the mindset change are not as simple. Some people are aware, some people are not. So my answer would be, what does your company do? The first thing I do is ask them a question. Have you been paying attention to all the money the government's been printing out of thin air and how it's affecting everything that you have to deal with financially? Yes or no? And if it is, then then the next sentence would be what it is. It is a beginning of a solution to those challenges that you face. Carrot Bars is a private savings club for the family checkbook holder. It's also a new economic understanding for the masses and a new global monetary exchange system for the more enlightened economic minds or opportunists. It could be for each one. It all is based on who you're talking to. If I'm talking to a guy who's handing a shovel, it's a private savings club for the family checkbook holder. Have you been paying attention to all the money the government's been printing out of thin air and how it's affecting you and your company and your paycheck?
Okay.
You can be complicated as much. It's not as simple anything more than that, because it involves the change of a mindset. We have to rethink how we think about paper money. Everything that transpires in our business, in our everyday life, still revolves around us throwing money at it. You want more time? You're going to have to buy your time back. It's not like it used to be. In today's world, my main goal is to re-educate people, or find those that already are educated about what's going on with the paper money. Paper money wasn't always around, you guys. It wasn't. Paper money only came into play when they wanted a simple alternative, not to have heavy gold coins or money in their pockets to do business. It just didn't make sense. So they printed paper money, and they said, if you take the paper money and you want it back in gold, we can just go into any bank and they'll give you your gold back in gold coin. There had to be a trust factor there just to get it out to the public. But in 2 generations, everyone forgets, and nobody told anybody in school when they were growing up that's what happened. They don't teach that.
All right, Dan, let me go over to Dr. D here for a minute. Denis, are you there?
Yeah, I am.
All right.
I'm here, man.
All right. All right. So.
Dan. Okay.
All right. So what I want you to do is, let me just lead this into this for a minute. And I sent a few emails out. I don't know if everybody got one, but you got one. But either way, we talked about this. So tell me, Denis, you and I are on the phone together, or you're my buddy or whatever, and you're trying to explain this to me without a whole bunch of explanation. So, and you want me to go look at stuff. You know the deal. So tell me what you're going to tell me. A simple explanation, couple of sentences to make me, or to see if I'm interested in pursuing any type of examination or exploration into what this company is. Tell me what to do.
Okay. Carrot Bar, KB, I want to call it because I'm used to that, is a company that makes it possible for the average person to purchase the highest quality gold in small ingots that anybody can afford, so that we can actually save against all the things that are happening out there. And by referral, we can actually earn free gold by telling other people about this company that's out there doing some very big things, but the small person can actually benefit. They can protect their assets by purchase. They can gather assets by referral. I think it's very cool, so I'm putting my time into it, and I suggest you go take a look.
All right. Now, absolutely, that's what I want people to do. So with Terry Whitener is on the line, and he's recorded this. So I think that what people need to do, and then we're going to go in the direction you wanted to go today, Denis, but I wanted to head this off because I think there are a lot of people out there. I did a little survey talking to the people in my group to explain KB, and I'm going to be honest with you, I couldn't come up with the answer, the legitimate, you know me, terminology, perception, it has to make sense. That's what I base it all on. Our classes developed from that concept. The terminology you use creates the perception, and that perception better makes sense to the person who is listening. And when I asked that question to including some leaders to explain to me what KB did or does, or what they were about, I didn't have simple answers. So my suggestion for the new year for everyone is to go back and listen to this recording. Listen to what Dr. Denis just said in the first couple of sentences, what KB is about. It is, about a company that allows us to purchase small increments of gold. The average person, or put it this way, almost everyone could do that in small increments, allowing us to exchange our cash, fiat, or paper assets into real assets such as gold. Now, at that point, there's nothing more for me to be said, Denis. And some of the things you said in there, which I did not write down, I'm going to go back and listen myself. And Dan, to pick out these things that make sense in what these guys just said and put it in writing, put it in front of you, and memorize what it says so that when somebody says, what is this company, you're able to legitimately and professionally make sense to that person so that, that doesn't sound like some hokey company that's fly by night. So that is one of the things I like to mention in my explanation, Denis, is this is a 13, 16-year-old company, that XYZ, and that's important to know that this company didn't start last year. It's been around a long time. So I think that adds legitimacy and makes sense to the listener. So anyway, that was what I wanted to cover today. And if you had anything else to add to it, great. But Dennis, what I really wanted to do is go in the direction that you talked about this morning, and you and Dan have a conversation about that particular conversation and help everybody out in that aspect. I'm going to turn over to you.
If I could, Dan, I know you want, if I could just jump in here just for a second.
Sure.
Sometimes the same thing that'll float your boat will sink your ship, which is the product, the size of what you've got. It can get so big you can have a boat full of gold that sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Okay? So to me, there's only two things that happen here with KB as far as I can see. People buy gold and other people acquire wealth by referring people to a place where they buy gold. The highest quality gold, we can go into all the details, but you don't have to because it's all on the websites. And Dan, you got a beautiful website you're putting up there. People buy something that's valuable because they want to either protect their assets or because they want to protect their assets, and at the same time, some choose to refer, so they gain assets by referral. That's the whole company in one sentence. Buy, protect, refer, acquire. Done. That's what it is. And they're doing a great job of it, but it's gone through a lot of changes because the world is changing. The trick is, for people on the call right now, discussion came up because I'm getting confused. Because there's so much change, and change creates confusion. So blah, 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 without too many words. Dan, you're doing a great job of putting some new tools together. There's some wonderful new tools. January 15th, just next 3 weeks is very big. I asked you as a favor, show me where to go so I can get my feet on the ground about the terminology, about how I can better do this, because it's obviously happening with me or without me. I wanted to be part of it. And so, Dan, that was my request to you. If you would show people what you've got without sometimes this thing is so big, we try to get big like it, and then we sink to the bottom of the ocean. I want to get simple.
Well, as you put, Dennis, the thing's an elephant.
Yeah.
You can grab it from different spots. The reality is that, which is only my perception, mind you, is that here in the United States, many people are numb to the word crisis. Everything's a crisis in the world when most of it isn't. In reality, TV is all about shock factor until your brain's numb. Now that's off track, but the perception that I have is that many people haven't gotten off the couch because they don't understand where we're at. So when you're talking about tools right now, the whole purpose of Max coming with a system, with our Carrot Bars University and Carrot Bars TV, is to create a unified, compliant message that you know what to say, what to do, and it's exactly the point of this conversation that we're having here. We don't have a unified mantra to go to that we direct, because the system itself creates a duplicatable format that allows us to communicate between each other, and everything we're talking about here is only leading towards the fact that when the system comes out, it will be a tool that we all recognize. Okay? Now, in the meantime, we are transitioning from the old KB Vision into the Carrot Bars International, a new trademark name, and I highly suggest everybody start addressing it Carrot Bars, because that is going to be our household name. Transition into that term from here into the new system. If you want to see the fresh look of a new site, go to carrotbars.com, KARATBARS.com. That's a forerunner of our new looking site. Okay, and you'll see some other stuff that's there. That's just a pre-runner. But really our mantra, if you want a tool in the interim to get a message and a feel to where we're going, go to carrotbarstv.com, KARATBARS TV, like television.com. You can find it, that is if you're in the system. I would watch every video that's on there. I would also look at the KB affiliate tools here that says strategy to get started fast. This is what we do on Saturday mornings. So later today at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific, Lloyd Merrifield and I do a webcast that we put out. It's a screen share. If you go to join.me/carrotbars, that's plural, KARATBARS, and then listen in on a phone number, 218-862-1300, and the PIN number is 811095. Again, the number is 218-862-1300. The PIN number is 811095. And go to join.
Is it listed anywhere else?
Yes, you can find it if you go to Carrot Bars Intro, INTRO.com. That's Lloyd's site he made for all of us to help introduce Carrot Bars. If you go there, you'll find a schedule of events, webinars and presentations, webcasts and presentations. If you go to that and click on that link, you find a full schedule, everyone. It's got everything on it. And I would highly encourage you to plug into that because it's a universal site that doesn't go back to anybody. This is a site we can use as a interim to get to till we have our unified company site up, so that we have our unified message. So I highly encourage you to plug in. I'm super active, man. I am like on fire. You probably smell the smoke on the East Coast from back here. But we're helping as many people as we can, but it's up to you to take the first step. I have another site that I use to help also walk some people through, and you can look at it if you'd like. It's called ruok.info. That's the letter R, the letter U, the letter O, the letter K, .info, INFO. And that's some of the things I use to make a message that I can walk somebody through in a quick fashion. But that's something that I use. And at the bottom, it helps you make a game plan. You know what? You want to do anything and make any money in this, you're going to have a game plan. The bottom, it will help you identify how to do that. If you don't do that, I'm going to tell you what, you'll end up somewhere, may not end up where you want to be, though. And I'm actually having a ball with doing this. Now, we have today on our webcast, our screen share, and if you listen in, we're going to have Max talking about part of the system for about 10 minutes at the end of the presentation when we bring him in. So if you want to plug into that, love to have you on it. We are encouraged, and I am greatly inspired. I can hardly sleep. I get about 4 hours of sleep a day because I just wake up. I mean, I am anything but depressed. And you know what? Nothing is more than important than taking some steps now before we have our system come online. Don't wait. And number one, if you're not on a plan, get one started right now. Don't wait for 500 euros. Get one started at 100 or 200 or whatever you can do the most in your first step, and then make a deposit every single month. That is what drives the system. That is what creates the residual incomes for you and everybody else in your group. So the website again to find the schedule of events and stuff is Carrot Bar's intro, intro.com. You look for webcasts and presentations, Q&A and presentations. You'll see a box there. You just click on that. You'll be informed. And with that, Dr. Denis, if you have any other comments, I firmly believe that the system itself is what gives you back your time. I mean, if you're like me, I'm working this to no end. I'm working 7 time zones, and the bigger my business gets, the less time I have. The purpose of the system is so that you get back your time. Nobody wants to work more to not be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. What you want to do is promote the system and drive traffic to it so that it takes care of the stuff that is routine as opposed to things that need addressing. And it will bring up leadership. Denis, do you have any comments on that?
Yes, I do. So I get it. I'm with you. This is tick time and again. Yeah, this is absolutely, time is the most important thing in all this. Now, here's some, basic, not advanced, but basic questions. Okay, so this system, when it comes up, theoretically January 15th, it's going to be coded. There's a free version, and then there's an upgrade version that we can pay monthly for, as I understand. And I'm assuming it's going to be coded to a website that is not kb-vision.com. It'll be carrotbars.com / our ID number or our username, whatever we created. Do you know the specifics of that? Is there any place for people to go to kind of get a preview or a peek, or we just wait? And do you know how that's going to play out?
I do not. I do know that he has helped create these systems for some of the top companies, and all of them have had great success with that system and have gone into a growth curve of duplication. Now, we're all doing different things here. That'd probably be a great question to ask him today. He's going to talk for about 10 minutes. We'll open up the lines for questions. You can find that link again at carrotbarsintro.com. Look at the link. Look for webinars and Q&As or presentations. You'll see a box there, and just click on it.
Okay, great. I like what you showed me before, areyook.info. I thought that was very nice. It's very organized, and I encourage people to go and look there. I mean, you're right. Dan, you're absolutely right. This is going to be possibly the biggest thing we've ever seen. Many of us are doing all sorts of different things because we have to. But at the end of the day, I have no qualms about this, the enormity of this. It is, and you're absolutely right. Systems which are made up of tools, but there's been so much morphing or change in shape and structure, just so people aren't getting lost. That's what I was looking for. Where are the simple, put my feet on the ground. I'm dog paddling here in water that's up to my nose. I want to put my feet on the sand down there and breathe, and then look around and see where I am. So, and you helped me by that, showing me that website. That's great, because there's going to be a transition here, and we don't want people getting lost in the shuffle. So I want to thank you for what you're doing, and you're absolutely right. It's just something simple and tangible over the holidays here between now and January 15th, so that everybody's ready to run. Because at this point we're beyond crawling and walking. If this is going to show up, and I've looked into the gentleman, he has done those things, and that's great. We'll be running at that point in time. But I'm always a fan of being ready to run. So ready to run right now means look, where are some small things we can look at, and you're giving some good tips on where people can go online and look at what is the morph, what is the change and shape of what we've got. And I would encourage you to do that. Get ready for that.
If you go to ruok.info and you scroll down towards the bottom, you'll find key steps to take if you plan to join us in this. This is key, man. This is for the transition. You're going to hear the term core come out in the system a lot. It's all about being a core player. It's what you can do. Forget about what anybody else can do. It's what you can do. And if we all become our own good core person, we will have a mantra of an ongoing income and the time to enjoy it. So number one, it always comes to becoming core and duplicate becoming core. Now, it was the core, and you'll find out about that when the system opens up. But that is what is going to give you the flexibility to present it as well as duplicate it. And let's face it, I use this 100 times. McDonald's doesn't have the best hamburger, but they sure know how to duplicate opening outlets and moving a good or service. They are the largest distributor of toys in the world. They are the largest purveyors of chicken in the world, and they are a hamburger and a milkshake company. All right? So become core. Number two, register, activate, and start a monthly purchase plan. Do it right away. Don't wait. Don't try and time it. If you can do 500 euros, great. If you can't do 500, do 200 or 300. If you can't do 200 or 300, do 100. If you can't do 100, start with 50. But as soon as you register and as soon as you activate, you start a plan. That is the key that drives the whole force, period. And if everybody does that, all the numbers fall into place. So I want to encourage you, don't try and time anything. Get in, get going, get started, and start duplicating immediately. Set up a game plan for what you want. As I said before, you're going to end up somewhere if you just drive and get in a car. It's not going to be necessarily where you want to go. So set up a game plan for what you want. You're going to want to find and align 3 key numbers for 3-way calls to find 3 core players. You really only need to find 3 key players in this whole deal. And I'm going to tell you right now, 98% of you got the 3 key players you need right in your phone. I don't know which ones they are, but probably the best way to find out is ask them. Hey, Jim, I could call anybody in the world, but I found a simple solution to some of the financial stresses we face today in life, man. I got a 2-minute message to play for you, and you got 2 or 3 minutes right now. I could call anybody on my phone, but I decided to call you first. And then do 3 promos a day. Do 3 promos a day of the business every day, not 10 one day and none the next 3 days. Why? Because you do 3 promos a day and introduce the carrot bars as a solution to what's maybe some of the challenges that they have going on, and know which tools to give them. The handyman goes into a home. He doesn't just have a saw in his tool belt. He's got a screwdriver and a drill, and he's got a hammer, and he's got a pair of pliers. Know your tools a little bit. And we have more than enough tools in the interim here to get you over where you need to go. 3 promos a day, introduce carrot bars, and know your tools. And then help your 3 find their 3 and teach their 3. If you learn to do this, you're going to have tremendous success. And then repeat it. Just repeat it over and over and over. And guess what? There's only one set of tasks you have to learn how to do. You just repeat it over. It's no different than when you went to work and you went to a job. They had a specific set of tasks that operate in that company, and if you go to work with them in a job, they expect you to show up and go do work and repeat the tasks that you have been assigned to in your job. So just learn the tasks of this. You repeat it over, you get not only a paycheck, you get residual income, and you solve the challenges of the ravages of inflation on your own life. And just repeat that with others. The leaders are going to step up and identify themselves. You don't have to make somebody a leader. You never will. You will not stop anybody who wants to be a leader from becoming a leader either. And nobody is going to stop me in my conviction and intestinal fortitude to convey a message to somebody else. I am forever thankful that I was introduced to this. And you know what? There's others just like me out there. And and some of you, many of you stepped up. And we want to recognize you, honestly. And you know what? We encourage you to continue on your march. Don't wait for the system to come out. Introduce with the tools we got right now. The message will be, and number 1, be flexible. We're going to go through some transitions. It's okay. It's natural, just like any other transition you've had when you had a baby, when you changed jobs, when you moved. It doesn't matter. You still have a home, you still have a family, you still have a job.
Dan.
Let's go find some questions. But Dennis,
wait, Joe, Joe, you there? Can you hear me? Before you go to questions?
Yep.
Okay. I want to, compress this a little bit. So if I'm hearing you, Dan, what you just said, if we go back to what Joe asked the question in the beginning, this is about protecting your assets and or gaining wealth by referral. Simple? Okay. Number two, so you're saying that to protect your assets is this, register and purchase. And you're saying that by gaining wealth, you register, purchase, and refer. Is that pretty clear?
Fine. That's
okay, good. I just wanted to see if I could do it in just a handful of words right there. What do? We're a company that what? Gives the everyday person or anybody in the world the opportunity to protect their assets by doing what? Register and purchase. And everybody in the world can also gain wealth by registering, purchasing, and referring. How's that?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that's exactly what we've been teaching from the very first time when we had our first conference calls and meetings. Register, enroll, purchase and share. All those things. Now it's just transitioning a little bit. It's okay. Same main message.
Dennis, right? How do you raise your hand? 5-star or 4-star? It's 5-star. Any questions? 5-star on your telephone?
5-star. 5-star for questions, yeah.
5-star. We are absolutely coming to the end of the call. It's 11:34 on my clock, and in a few minutes we are having a wonderful day today and getting to work. So I do have a question. Bill Pratt, I'm going to unlock your line there, and you are on. Hey, Bill.
Good morning. Could you repeat that number for today's presentation that you're going to be doing?
Yes, as a matter of fact, why don't you go to Carrot Bar's intro, KARATBARSINTRO.com, carrotbarsintro.com, and look at the schedule. There's a big rectangular button there, and if you click on it, you will see the schedule has the address and the web address, and it has the call number on it.
Okay, perfect.
I can do
Bill,
that.
any other questions?
The computer is acting
okay.
The
number is 218-862-1300, and the PIN number is 811095.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, any other questions? Bill, do you have any other questions?
I'm good to go.
Okay, my friend, thank you very much. Let me go ahead and mute that line again. Let's go ahead and lower the hand. We're good to go. Any other questions? Going once, as you can hear, we're moving along here. Going twice, raise your hand. 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. Going once, going twice. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful day today. Dan, thanks so much for the info. All right, I have a question here. Here we go. Donna, area code 708. I'm going to go ahead and unlock your line. Morning, Donna.
Hi, I just want to know how I can listen to the call again.
This call, Terry Whitener. Let me undo your line, or I think you could probably undo that. I'm not sure. I know some other people have the answer to this, and it's as simple as going to... there you go. Terry, you're unlocked.
Line unmuted.
Be available. Terry, I'm trying to unlock your line. You're good. Hi, Terry.
Good morning. Yeah, you can go to the Facebook fan page, KB Gold Savings. You can also go to Show Me Green Cash, grncash.com. That's where all the YouTubes are at of the Breakfast Club and everything. And I'll also post it in the Skype room once it's ready to view. I have to encode everything and then upload it to YouTube and then put it onto the page. So probably by 10 o'clock, it'll be ready to go today.
Okay, Don, does that help you?
Say again?
Is there a replay number that I can just call in and listen to it on the phone?
No. Actually, there is not. Not from my end, there is not. How about you,
All
Terry?
right, thank you.
No, just the video is all I will have.
Yeah, we'll be on the... Okay, Donna, I hope that helps. Any more questions, Donna?
No, that was great. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, go ahead and mute your line. Going to lower your hand. And anybody else have a question here before we get going? It's like do not. So Dan, Terry Whitener, Dr. Dan. All right, here comes Agajo. We got you unlocked. How are you?
Good morning. Is there a Skype number we can use to connect to the webinar?
I think Terry's going to put it in the Skype room. So tell us more, Terry.
Recording. He's looking for the webinar this afternoon.
Yes, it'll be in all the Skype rooms. I'll post the link to the actual Breakfast Club in each one of the Skype rooms, KB Gold, KB Vision, etc. And then from there, people will post it to other Skype rooms also.
Well, he's talking about the webinar for today.
Oh, the webinar for today. I will be recording that one later today for Boomer, and that'll be in. I'll put a link in the Skype room also for that.
What I'm asking is there a Skype number to call into the webinar?
No.
Okay.
Well, there is. Dan has a number for calling in on the webinar.
Okay.
Boomer can give that number again.
Where we can get the recorded calls, would you repeat the Facebook link again?
KB Gold Savings account.
Okay. That's it?
That's it. It's in Facebook.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, you guys. Let me get you squared away there. Line is now muted, and your hand is lowered. Anybody else? Every time I do that, you get the rest.
Here, this is Boomer. I want to make one quick announcement here. If you go to that join.me/carrot bars, there's a toolbar that appears at the top of your website. On the left side, there's a circle with a picture of a telephone. If you click on that, it will give you the number to call in on. Okay? That's how we do that.
Okay, so we've covered everything we needed to cover today. I think this was real educational. Boomer, thanks a million. Dr. Denis, Terry Whitener, and for those of you who are participating just by calling in, thank you very much for being here. And for Dan and Terry Whitener and Dr. Denis, this is Joe Shoop. Have a wonderful day, everybody.